Life in Duluth, Minnesota is pretty black and white. If it's not blanketed in snow here, it's swallowed up by the piles of iron travelling from the mines up north out through the port. World famous for being the birthplace of Bob Dylan.
That way down Highway 61.
Highway 61 might have been the road out of Duluth for Dylan, but Donald Trump thinks it might be his road in. No one knows more about Bob Dylan's Minnesota life than Bill Pagel. This is where it all began.
This is where it all began.
The curator owns both the Duluth home where Dylan was born and the Hibbing home, 1.5 hours drive north, his family moved to when he was 6.
Hibbing was booming at that time, I would say. You know, Hibbing has had its ups and its downs, but I think at the time they moved here, it was doing pretty well.
Now these two towns represent a growing divide in the Iron Range that used to be one of the safest Democrat strongholds in the country. Duluth counts for around a quarter of the votes in the Northeast region. Not everyone's enjoying what the Democrats have been dishing up lately. While the support in the region's still obvious, what's going to be the biggest issue?
Just getting rid of Trump.
He's swayed more than a few voters here.
As a person, I find him a little bit offensive, but his politics, his governing, his leadership, I'm on board.
Yeah. So I ask, did you vote for him last time?
Oh yes, I sure did. I sure did. Even though I think he's an arrogant jerk half the time when he speaks.
Or tweets.
Yes, but I like the fact that he is a nonpartisan. He's not backed by anybody.
Further north, Hibbing's a town on the border of one of the largest open pit mines. And it's a town on edge. Last time voting for Trump by a margin of just 7 votes.
I've always been told in a bar, it's like, you don't talk about politics.
And it's not just the bar where people are hiding their colours.
I've been here for 25 years now, and I mean, I feel like when I was younger, you'd see them a lot more. I mean, even local, you know, city council and stuff like that. But I don't know, this year there doesn't seem like there's much for sure, though. Yeah, you're right, I noticed that just driving around town. Yeah, I mean, there'd be places, just boulevards, are usually covered, and now you'll see a few here and there.
I don't feel like I can, because there's so many people that are anti-Trump, and then you just get into this big discussion about it, and, you know, I guess if you want to get into an argument, then you can, but I don't know. I don't feel comfortable saying I am. No.
I'm comfortable with it to a point, but I agree with her. So I just think that there's so much negativity if you actually say that you're for Trump.
More than 80% of the iron ore mined in the US comes from right here in northeast Minnesota. Most of that's used for domestic steel production. It does only account for around 3% of Minnesota's GDP, but that shoots up to around 13% for this region. It's not the only game in town, but it's been behind the industrial boom in the United States for the last century. That's ingrained in the identity here, along with the idea of the labour movement.
In my job, I'm dealing with the mines and things and all the laborers, and they are pro-Trump. So, and I actually belong to a union, and I am pro-Trump, and so are they.
It's so funny because the unions used to be the stronghold for the Democrats.
Exactly.
What changed?
Because Trump stood up and brought manufacturing back. That's a good thing. He put tariffs on for the steel industry and so forth, and this made our economy boom.
That's not to say there aren't dedicated Democrats here.
A lot of the people Democratic around here, I mean, it's blue-collar hard workers.
Or that the disagreements are even that new.
What do you call when the people bicker back and forth? Democracy.
But the times, they are a-changing. Annalise Nielsen, Sky News in Hibbing, Minnesota.